الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. So we're discussing the contamination of water. Remember, the natural intrinsic quality of water is that it's pure. You can use it to purify, etc. So we discussed thus far, when the jasad fall in my qalil, when the jasad falls in my kathir, etc., etc. With the last discussion is when an aquatic animal dies in the water, and we also discussed when that animal or that creature that does not have flowing blood dies in the water and it will consider to be clean, etc. So the next discussion is also what which we say is ma'ul musta'mal, water that has been used but it hasn't been contaminated with any najasat. For example, a person made wudu, right? And now your body is clean, right? You got no najasat, and you capture the water. Maybe you made wudu and you capture the water in another bucket. Or another scenario is this here: you needed a first ghusl, right? But you removed all the najasat from your body. You made istinja, so there's no najasat on your body. So now there is no najasat on your body, and then you made ghusl, and you were able to capture that water, right? So what can you do with that water? What is the position of that water? Now I know, the times of drought and that, a lot of times you actually capture this water. People use, they direct the bath water, direct it into the gardens, or sometimes maybe they even put buckets under by the taps, because especially when you are in the midst of a drought. So for what can you use this water, or for what can't you use the water? Or the most easiest simple scenarios, for example, you making wudu and you got a bucket underneath you, and that the water drops off from your arms, from your face, from your feet into the bucket. So this is what we term as ma'ul musta'mal. This is ma'ul musta'mal. So ma'ul musta'mal, remember very clearly, it is that water that does not have najasat in it. Because if it have najasat, then obviously it it come under the law of that water that has been contaminated with najasat. Are you with me? Is that clear? Okay, so you can read from there, inshallah, read the next ibarat. From the, isn't it got from where you read from? Yeah, والماوس لا يطهر الأحداث from there. No, from where? What's the ibarat you got, you said? والماء المستعمل. So your kitab seems a bit from where? Well, yeah. So yeah, my kitab got this here. It goes like this. الماء المستعمل لا يطهر الأحداث. What you got? Read it for me. Let's see what is here in this kitab also. Yeah, check this PDF you got. Check there.
The PDF is the same. لا يطهر الأحداث.
Okay, so the PDF is same like us. Okay, so if you look at it, it has more or less the same meaning. But I told you this one, your kitab, is the most authentic. Anytime I'll cover this one hands down, because I told you that was taken from 40 manuscripts, right? So you got there. الماء المستعمل لا يطهر الأحداث. What you got in your kitab? Let me just read it loud for the listeners so they can also see. Yeah, in this kitab I got here, this is the tahqiq of Sa'id Bagdash, and he's used 40 manuscripts. He says, وَالْمَاءُ الْمُسْتَعْمَلُ, the water that's been used, لا يجوز استعماله في طهارة الأحداث, to use it in the cleansing of hadith, it is not permissible. So what we're saying there, that look, if you need wudu, or you need ghusl, you don't have wudu, you don't have ghusl, right? Now you need to make a fresh wudu. No, sorry, not a fresh wudu. You need to make wudu from scratch or make ghusl. and you captured my musta'mal, then you cannot use that. That's what he's saying. So that ibarat and my ibarat is both the same. I mean, not the same, just different words, but the same thing. وَالْمَاءُ الْمُسْتَعْمَلُ لَا يُطَهِّرُ الْأَحْدَاثَ, right? That the water that has been used, it does not purify hadath, whether it's hadath akbar or hadath asghar, right? We carry on. Right. So interesting. Hazrat Imam Shafi'i, Hazrat Imam Malik says that if you made wudu with water, or you made ghusl with water, but that water was not contaminated with any najasat, even though you had no wudu, or you had no ghusl, you are in need of a ghusl, you removed the najasat from your body, and you made ghusl, then if you are able to capture that water, you can use it to make another ghusl, you can use that water to make another wudu. You understood that? See there. خلافا لمالك والشافعي. Contrary to Hazrat Imam Malik and Hazrat Imam Shafi, هما يقولان, they too say that إن الطهور ما يطهر غيره مرة بعد أخرى كالقطوع. They say, look, Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, وأنزلنا من السماء ماء طهورا, that we've sent down from the skies water that has the ability to purify. So he's saying if something has the ability to purify, until it does not become najis, it will have the ability to purify several times after that. And they say, look, like the word al-qatu'. They say, look here, qatu' means something that can cut. If a knife has the ability to cut, after you cut something with it once, does that mean it's unable to cut after it again? No, it's still able to cut. So same thing, if water, its natural intrinsic quality is to purify. So after it purifies one thing, it purifies you from hadath, it is able to purify you again and again and again and again until it is not contaminated with any type of najasat. You got that? Right, read next about it. قوله الشافعي. Remember that the lawyer is when you got tasniya, which comes as a mudaf, you drop the noon, so it becomes قولي الشافعي. Then you know as-sakin إذا حرك حرك بالكسر. When you got two sakins, you got the sakin on the ya, and you got the sakin of the alif lam ta'rif, you join it. So وقال الزفر وقال الزفر وهو أحد قول الشافعي. So Imam Zufar and his opinion, and it's also one of the opinions of Imam Shafi. Remember, Imam Shafi had the qawl al-jadid and he had the qawl al-qadim, right? So it's also one of the qawl. They don't say it was a qawl al-shadid or whatever, but whatever it is, it's one of his opinions. Fatwa sometimes given on the qawl al-jadid, sometimes given on the qawl al-qadim. إن كان المستعمل متوضعا فهو طهور. See what Imam Shafi says. See, if a person had wudu already, he had wudu, but he's just making another wudu for sawab. Like sometimes maybe you have wudu, right? Now salat time comes, so let me make another wudu, there's more sawab here, whatever. Then he says, إن كان المستعمل متوديا فهو طهور. Then such as the water that's captured from such a wudu, water that's captured from a wudu where the person had wudu, it will still have the ability to remove hadath because it hasn't been used to remove hadath as yet because the user was clean before that. You understood that? Right. And then he says, وَإِن كَانَ مُحْدِثًا. But if the person that is making wudu for the first time or made wudu for the first time, he did not have wudu. He did not have wudu. فَهُوَ طَاهِرٌ غَيْرُ مُطَهِّرٌ. It will be pure, but it will not have the ability to give you a new wudu. Pure meaning this here, if it falls in your clothes, so like how when you make wudu, right? Right? And it drops. It falls on my clothes here. My clothes will not be najis. Right? This is where you never have wudu. Right? So that means you're غير طهور. That means it will not have the ability to give you a new wudu. Right? After that, somebody never do, right? Why? This is the reason. لأن الأضوى طاهر حقيقة. So first part is saying why it is not najis. Why it is not najis. It's not najis according to Imam Shafi, according to this qawl, because لأن الأضوى طاهر. If you look at your limb, There was no physical impurity. And in technical terminology, we say najasat hakiki. There was no physical impurity. There was no najasat hakiki, right? لأن العضو طاهر حقيقة, right? So because there was no physical impurity, we cannot say this water has become munajjas, right? Right. So وباعتباره يكون الماء طاهرا. So with regard to the fact that there was no physical najasat on, we say the water is intrinsically pure, but it has already been used to remove a najasat hukmi. Because remember, he was in hadath, or say if it's in hadath asghar, you remove the hadath from him, or if it was in hadath akbar, you removed the hadath from him, right? لكنه نجس حكما, but hukman, that means abstractly. He was najis. وباعتباره يكون الماء نجسا. So with consideration to that, the water will also be considered najis. So in other words, because it already moved a najasati hukmi once, now it will lose its ability to remove a najasati hukmi again. You understood that? In simple words. Are you with me? Sure. Right. فقلنا, we say بانتفاء الطهورية وبقاء right, وبقاء الطهارة عملا بالشبهين. Interesting, yeah. We say, look here, this water, it is, it has two angles. From a physical angle, if you look at it, it is pure because it has not been contaminated with any najasat. Are you with me? So from a physical point of view, it is 100% pure. But from a hukmi point of view, from an abstract point of view, it has been contaminated. Are you with me? Because it has been used to remove najasat. You understood najasat hukmi. So it depends which angle you're looking from at it. If you're looking at a physical angle, it is pure. If you look at it from an abstract angle, it is najasat. So we consider each within its own context. So we'll say, that's what I'm saying. We'll say that because it did not remove any physical najasat, we'll say it cannot physically contaminate you. So if somebody made wudu with water and it fell on you, it will not physically contaminate you. So we give credit to that angle in that way. And because it removed um, najasat hukmi, so to give validation to that aspect, we say it loses its ability to remove najasat hukmi. That is, whether it is to remove hadath akbar or hadath asghar. So we're practicing on both angles. You saw that. That's what he's saying. He's saying, so فقلنا بانتفاء الطهورية, we will say it loses its ability, right, to remove hadath وبقاء الطهارة, but its physical purity remains there, but its ability to remove najasa al-hukmi is gone. You understood that? Right. Amalan bishibhaini, making amal upon both angles, right? I read the next text. I hope that is clear, inshallah. Right. So see what Imam Muhammad said. So what we discussed thus far, remember we discussed Imam Malik's opinion, we discussed Imam Shafi's opinion, and then we discussed also Imam Zufar's opinion, what coincides with the opinion of Imam Shafi, right? Now we're going to look at Imam Muhammad's opinion. وقال محمد, this is the opinion of Muhammad, وهو رواية عن أبي حنيفة, and also this same opinion has also been narrated from Imam Hanifa, although it is not like you can say his main opinion, but also it has been narrated from him. He said, هو طاهر غير طهور. You got anything on the tahir? I got طهور here. What you got? Check in your kitab. What have you got in your kitab there? Huh? Yeah, that makes more sense. Just check you on the PDF. What is on the PDF also? This my kitab got so many mistakes in it. وهو طاهر غيره. Check on the PDF. What is nothing there.
طهوري
But that
طهوري.
makes more طهور. Okay, Jazakallah for that. Jazakallah. Okay, so that makes more sense, right? Perfect. Jazakallah for the input there. Also, online input. Jazakallah. We appreciate your help. Okay, so that makes more sense because it's the Quran وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا, right? So that makes more sense. So, uh, according to Hazrat Imam Muhammad rahimahullah ta'ala, it is pure, right, tahirun, but ghair tahur, but it will not have the ability to purify something else. That means, and in this context here, we mean, when we say not have the ability to purify something else, means it cannot remove najasate or rather hadith akbar and hadith asghar. There's another masla here, it's not mentioned in the kitab thus far, but look here, can you use it to move physical najasat? So far, what we're discussing here is that we're speaking about najasat hukmi. Hadith asghar, hadith akbar. I want to see if it comes in the kitab, but from what I remember is here, when they say ghayru tahur, they're referring to what? Hadith akbar and hadith asghar. But what about physical najasat? Let me explain the whole scenario to you. You had some najasat that came on your hand here, right? Right? And then you had my mustaqbal uncontaminated with najasat. You made wudu with it. So there the ibarat is clear. According to Muhammad, you can't make another wudu with it, you can't make another ghusl with it. Is it clear, right? Is it, oh, riwayat Nabi Yusuf, and now tahurun ghayru tahur. That's clear, right? Right. But can you use that water to remove now a physical najasat? You with me? As far as my memory serves me, yes, you can. You may do that. In fact, the masla is this: any liquid, well, even if it's not water, any liquid, if it can wash the najasat away, is good enough. So, for example, you had some najasat on your hands here. Even if you took Coca-Cola, you can wash it. Or even if you took a juice and you wash it off. So it doesn't have to be, so to remove physical najasat, it doesn't, remember we discussed all that in order to make wudu, to make ghusl, the water must be in the hukum of water. Remember that the moment it is overpowered to the extent that it's not water, then you can't make wudu with it, then you can't make ghusl with it. Remember we discussed that? But that condition is not necessary to remove physical najasa. Because for physical najasa, the main thing is it must be izalatun najas. What must it be? There's no qualification from the side of Sharia that you have to use water to it. You understand what I'm saying? There's no qualification that you have to use water. It's just the main thing is izalatun najasa. So any clear, fluid, liquid thing, as long as it's spark, is able to remove the najasat. So that of it being water is a condition for hadith akbar and hadith asghar. So when we say wa tahirun ghayru tahur, it is pure and it cannot remove any dirt. That's referred to the hukmi one, not to the physical one. For the physical one, that is why also the question comes. We get this question. A lot of people ask that if you got some type of najasat on your clothes, whatever, and you took it for dry cleaning, will it become pure? So the ulama explained, they'll tell you, look here, the main thing is this here, that if by dry cleaning, right, if by dry cleaning it, you, the najasat is removed totally, right, then it will be park. So you see, as I said, the main is izalatun najasa. It is izalatun. That is why I remember when we were small, we always thought that something must be washed 3 times before it becomes pure, right? So that's why we always used to be confused about the must of a washing machine. If you put some napak when we were small, that if anything became napak, the mother would wash it first 3 times and then put in the washing machine. Am I right or wrong? We thought it must be washed 3 times, but that's wrong. If you look in the beginning of the kitab, those that were with us, we saw there when the najasat is physically visible. By removing the najasat till you don't see it, that is good enough. But if you can't see it, then you have to wash it 3 times. So if you put your najis clothes in the washing machine, even if it gives you 1 cycle or 2 cycles, definitely by the time that thing is washed, that najasat will be gone. So the main illa is there is izalatun najasa. So for removing physical najasat, all you have to do is you have to remove you have to wash it till it's missing. That's good enough. And that can be accomplished with my mustaqbal, that is tahir. And it could be accomplished with any other pure thing, like rose water or any other thin liquid, obviously, right? Okay, carry on. So we're saying, Imam Muhammad says, it's tahir, غير mutahir. It is pure and also it cannot purify other things. And I qualified it. We're speaking on najasiyah hukmiyah, not najasiyah hakikiyah. So from this, you learn the masla. If you captured there was drought, there was really a shortage of water, then you captured your wudu water or you captured your ghusl water without najasat. Can you wash your clothes in that after that? Yes, you can wash your clothes in that. You can even wash your najis clothes with it, right? So I hope you clear on that. Carry on. لأن ملاقة الطاهر الطاهرة لا يوجب التنجس. So they're saying why it is tahir. Why? It's because a clean thing. Your body is clean. Remember, I said always, as long as there was no najasat, a clean thing, that means a clean water, made your clean body, so it never become, it was not physically contaminated. لأن ملاقة الطاهر الطاهرة لا يوجب التنجس, right? But إلا أن أقيمت به قربة فتغير صفته. Yes, they're saying that if a person made a fresh wudu, but his intention was that he's doing it for the reward. This masala comes in detail. I done it with this boy in Fiqh Muyassar. If a person had wudu already, listen nicely. A person had wudu already, and he decided to make another wudu for tabarrud. His intention was just to cool off. His intention was not he want to cool off. There, that water will not be my musta'mal. He had wudu, and he made wudu for tabarrud, like how we say to cool off. That will not be my musta'mal. But listen nicely, you had wudu, but you're making another wudu for the sake of sawab. There, that will become my musta'mal. You saw the difference. If you sharp, you catch on the difference. The difference is there you had wudu, so obviously there was no removal of any hadath. And secondly, you never do it for as an ibadat. You done it to cool off. So it's like just running water off your arm. You run out. But if you had no wudu and you made wudu, obviously you removed hadass with it, so it will. And there's one scenario. And the second scenario is you had wudu, but you done it for the sake of sawab. I want, so wudu is an ibadat, so I want to make a fresh wudu. So because you done it as an ibadat, so that means it had some function already. It was already used as an ibadat. So now that is my musta'mal, right? While we're discussing this here also, I want to mention another masala, by the way. If you got wudu and you never use that wudu for any ibadat that requires wudu, it is not correct for you to make another wudu. You understood that? You got wudu, then you use that wudu to read 2 rakats namaz or to touch the Quran. It is, and now you decide I'm gonna make another fresh wudu for Musab, that's fine, because you use it once. But if you made wudu, you've done nothing that requires wudu. You've done nothing. And then you decide to make another wudu, that is makruh tanzihi. You shouldn't make another wudu because you haven't used that wudu at all, and it is israf. You understood that? Okay, coming back to the text. So yeah, I was telling you, if you making, this is called al-wudu al-wudu. What's called? If you do wudu al-wudu على وجه القربة فإذا يكون الماء مستعمل. But يكون وضوءك على وضوء للتبرد فإذا هو ليس بماء المستعمل. فهمت؟ Right. Right. They say في كمال الصدقة. Like how they give the example of مال الصدقة. Interesting example. See, what is the idea of sadaqah? Sadaqah you give is to purify your wealth, right? To get the khubs out of it. So if I got the 100,000 rand, I took 1,000 rand out sadaqah and I gave it to you. That 1,000 physically is no impurity on it. Physically there is no impurity, right? But it's going to take the dirt out of my wealth. If in me earning that wealth there was some type of doubt or maybe I lied, whatever, it's going to remove that nuhusat. It's going to remove that abstract impurity from it. You understand what I'm saying? That is why we say that the family of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot eat sadaqah, etc. Because it is what? It is, so to say, like a contaminated wealth. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing we're saying here, that if the thing doesn't have physical impurity on it, It has an abstract impurity. The same thing here. This water also, it doesn't have a physical impurity, but it has an abstract impurity. Right. Okay, there's a request here that you must send a picture. I don't know if you can send a picture of that thing on this. Can you send it on the Telegram? Is it possible? Can you take a photo there? See if you can send somebody wants a picture of it. Let's see if we can send a picture. There's no function here to send a picture. See, since you asked with regard to this kitab, I was telling you this is the best. It's what we call the most muhakkak, the best researched copy of Hidayah Sharif. The author took over 40 manuscripts. So any time of the day, if there's ikhtilaf between the nusakh, we'll go with this one here. See if you can send a picture and send it on the chat as a request for you, inshallah. Is there a function to send a picture? Oh yeah, we can put it in the group. It's simple enough to follow that, Peter. Let me just put it in the group.